was a really, really good story.
There's a grand sense to this show.
It's a love story, but there's drama, there's tragedy.
We have this clash between science and religion.
It's beautiful. It taps into everything that makes you human.
They told me not to touch you.
Not to touch me?
They said you're still recovering.
The Summerland Project came from a question that I think a lot of people have asked, which is, if you had the chance to bring back someone that you lost, would you do it?
Rob actually talked to me in the hall upstairs at the theater, and he was talking about this idea, this concept of a robot being a human, and the moral question of whether that could actually happen.
They're just like blue-collar workers. She's a teacher, he's a cop, and they have a very simple life. She has an aneurysm that breaks a connection between her brain and her spinal cord, and she is in a bed, comatose.
I'm Paul Wesley. Right, sure. The Paul Wesley? I like to think so.
He has made a deal with this big corporation to basically resurrect his wife.
Not only would we be preserving your wife's mind, we'd be putting it into a body that looks and feels the same. But how is that her?
His love is so great for her that he can't bear the thought of living without her. In that state, he doesn't fully realize what Amelia is going to become.
I just wanted her back.
And that's what they promised you?
Yes.
Carter reaches out to the senator so that they can work together. The senator help him to stop this. We weren't meant to live forever. We were meant to experience life and take lessons from it, and then arrive at a better place with those lessons in hand.
Carter, I'd like you to meet Dr. Ellen Beckett.
She has such a background, and she comes completely formed, which for an actor is an amazing thing.
She's not political, but is completely focused on her work, is completely focused on science, which is a rare female character, and something that I'd never been able to play before.
Have you seen the latest advances in synthetic humans? I mean, you can't really call them robots anymore.
Yep.
I used to work on the Cindy 69 project, and yeah, it's a companion doll. But the thing is, when people touch it, they can't. Seriously, you too.
Max is such an interesting character and provides the humor in the play, which so many people who saw the original production loved.
Max and Carter have the opposite journeys, whereas Carter either sees or wants to believe that this Amelia is human, and it slowly declines to realizing that she is a machine. Max knows and believes that she's a machine in the beginning, but I think comes to see and appreciate and probably even fall in love with her humanity. I don't want to change you. You're not like anything I've ever worked on.
I don't know what I am.
Come with me. We'll figure it out.
Amelia specifically embodies that question. Is she real? What makes her real? Can she love? I happen to think she can love.
I directed the very first production of the Summerland Project for the Theater Cedar Rapids Underground Festival. We had next to no budget. We were performing in a small space, seated 90 people, and yet that production really struck a chord with people. There was just something about it.
When people saw it in the Underground Festival, it excited them, and it was something to talk about at the bar over drinks.
Every once in a while, you see a show that you say, wow, that kind of blew me away. And that was not what I was expecting when I saw the Summerland Project, and that's what I saw. It was a show that just kind of shocked me in the depth that it went into, and also the fact that it was talking about things that we need to start talking about.
And the future of this company, hell, this entire country is standing right over there. Building better people.
Not only from a technical aspect, it seemed had a lot of potential, but the story and the script itself, that drew me in even more than a lot of shows do.
As soon as I finished watching it, I texted Derek and said, I totally get why you wanted me to see it. What do you think about doing this show on the main stage? And he immediately texted back and said, yes, and I want to design it.
Leslie mentioned that she was going to be directing the Summerland Project on the Mainstage this year. And I asked what it was about, and she basically said, oh, just effing audition for it. So
I wanted to be a part of it, not only because I wanted to be a part of Rob's creation from the get-go, but also because the part itself is extraordinarily intriguing.
There are a few challenges that go along with playing a character like Amelia.
I would say that the hardest part about being Amelia, technically speaking, is the physicality.
She's not like any other human being. You know, you can argue whether or not she's human at all, but she definitely is unique in the fact that she has an artificial body. And so trying to figure out how to be a real person but not have a real body was definitely a challenge.
The transition is the difficult part, to make it seem pretty seamless. Oh yeah, her neural networks are developing.
Playing a not human that is supposed to be as close to human as possible is it's a hell of an actor challenge.
She fascinates me. The idea of Amelia is completely fascinating to me.
You really do think you're Amelia Summerland?
I am Amelia Summerland.
No, you're not. No, you're not. Amelia Summerland had a spirit about her. She had a soul.
I have a soul.
Doing a play, the same play, so closely together, I just found that fascinating to see what the end result would be under two different directions and in two completely different spaces.
That small space, though I thought it worked just fine down there, I felt like I wanted Wesley Enterprises to be a larger, grander place.
And right away, I had ideas, definitely a lot of multimedia projection and camera work, and just representing what that world could be.
We thought, especially since we'd worked with Derek and his set design, that we wanted to have something that was clean lines, very simple.
It's the visceral impact of this play that I think is most powerful. At the root of this story, surrounded by all the science and technology, it's a play about relationships.
It approaches it from a very unbiased perspective, where you're allowed to make your own decisions about how you feel about the concepts that are presented in the play. And I think that makes it all the more fascinating, because you can walk away with your own opinion, and that can differ from the guy next to you and the girl behind you.
And the subject matter in the play and how it's really right around the corner.
It's not out of reach, it's not out of touch. It's, perhaps 20, 30 years down the line if things fall into place, maybe even sooner.
I think this is a question that we're going to have to ask ourselves in my lifetime. Would I do this? And is it right?
I think everyone who has lost someone that they love dearly questions, what would I do to have them back, to hug them one more time, to say I love you one more time.
It's a really good script, and being able to present it on the big stage for the first time is a real honor.
It was an artistic experience that I will carry with me throughout the rest of my acting career.
It was wonderful to be a part of it and to have such great reception afterwards, and that people were so affected by it.
I'm just so incredibly grateful to Leslie, Derek, Angela, Katy, Matthew, just a huge list of people who gave of their time and made this production take off and go to where it is today. I owe it to them. I really do.